Well, guys, went to Texas, went hog hunting. I took some toys. I took one of my favorites, the 7.5-inch 5.56 pistol with the fun super safety in it. And I broke it. So I don't know exactly what happened. But I'm gonna show you a video, and we're gonna find out what we got. We're gonna take a look. I don't know, but it wasn't good. I blew the gas tube out.
Did it?
I don't know. It blew up on my hand. Well, we've had a malfunction. We were out here running my super safety on my AR pistol here, and my hand is all black. I've had something that I've never seen happen before. If you look in there, right there, notice where the gas tube is located. I'm not sure how it got there, but something has gone awry. So I'm probably gonna have to sit till I get home to get that fixed, but it looks like maybe I blew the gas tube out of it. So that's what happens when you have too much fun, I guess. All right, so going through that video there, you can clearly see something happened. You see me kind of view my hand there, like what happened. And I had some black like marks on my hand right here. And what it actually was is these spots right here, they when the gas came out, it blew those shapes, if you will, from through the handguard onto my hand. When I first looked, in my mind, I was like, part of my hand's missing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I initially thought something bad happened. My hand is missing, and that's why I looked at my hand like this, like, is my finger there? Because I thought I was like missing right here, like this was gone. Luckily I didn't have any pain, but that's what it felt like if it was going to like be gone. And I was like, it was like such a fast, and I was like, oh God. And then I looked and I'm like, nope, just black. I don't see any blood. Okay, we're good. So thank God that's the case. Now, as you can see in the video, there was a moment of like, what actually has gone wrong? Like what the malfunction actually was, I didn't know. And I'm not sure if you can actually see it in the video, but the gas tube right there was up here, like way up here. And I'm like, how did that get up there? Like, how's that possible? Well, after the fact of, the video that you saw, I was still messing around with the gun, and ultimately what I discovered had happened is when it broke, it blew it back into the chamber area, like where the bolt normally sits. Now, it was only there for a split second because the bolt then shoved it on its return in the cycle. It shoved it back forward, and it just so happened that the angle it came in went up, and it rode over the top of the block. Now, I don't know to what extent everything has been or not been damaged at this point. I will say I looked it over, and to the best of my viewing, I don't see any actual broken parts or anything to that degree. Also, the bore doesn't look like anything was like jammed or broke, or a chunk of anything came off. I didn't see any baffle strikes or anything along those lines on the can. Like, everything looks good. I honestly just think and I've got an extra one laying here. I think what happened is when you put one of these together, or if you've never had one apart or assembly, this roll pin right here, this tube goes in, there's a hole crossways through this roll tube, and then through the gas tube, you actually put it in and then line up that, there's a cross hole. You line it up with this roll pin hole and shove the roll pin through. That's what actually keeps these two pieces together. I think what happened is just from the high rate of fire that this thing is currently running on, which I'll get to that. I think what happened is it was just too much stress in the tube, and it finally just broke the gas tube where this roll pin comes out, or where it has the hole for the roll pin. I think it just sheared it off. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take the, I'm not even sure what all I'm going to have to take apart here, to be honest with you. I think I know the handguard has to come off, which really that's just these 3 bolts, and I believe it'll slide right off. However, I think I'm going to have to take my my chemo adapter off here to actually be able to take the gas block off. I'm like 99% sure, which is going to be a huge pain in the ass. But I think with this guy, this is an extra one I had laying around. I think I can get this thing back together with this. Question mark. All right, so I went ahead and loosened up some of these little Allen keys here to kind of speed up this video. But basically, if you've ever taken a handguard apart or put a handguard on, you know, each one kind of has its own assembly system, you know, however it's held together. Some of them have screws that go all the way through. Some of them don't. It's just one of those things you gotta, if you're taking it apart, you gotta play with it, figure out what's holding it on. This one, if I remember right, you gotta take all 3 of these screws, and then there's 2 set screws on the very bottom that hold it, kind of pin it in place, but I've already loosened them. So hopefully, if I can get this screw out, there we go. Hopefully this right here will, there we go. All right, so you can see there, it literally just slides off. Now, another little dilemma there. So my QD right here is actually hitting on the chemo. I'm struggling with words right now, the chemo. So I'm gonna have to take this off as well, which I wasn't anticipating, but that's not a big deal. You know, the thing you run into with stuff like this, though, is you never know to what degree you're gonna have to tear things apart to fix stuff, because, you know, that's just how life goes. So I will do my best to make this as quick and painless as possible of a video, but I might have to speed it up at some point for you guys to make it a little shorter. But all right, there's that. Okay, let's see if I can get this off without taking it any further apart. What else we got? Okay, nope, I'm gonna have to take this side off too. Literally gonna have to take every item off of this gun. It's okay, we'll make it work. There's that one. I guess I might as well go ahead and take this bottom one off as well, because I'm fairly confident it's gonna hit as well. Good news is they're all M-lock, so they very quickly disassemble, and you just got to line the little keyway up and comes off. All right, there we go. Got them all off. All right, there's my handguard off. Now, when I pulled this thing out, or when I got done shooting it, this is how it was aligned. And that's definitely not right. So I'm going to pull this out. We'll set that aside for now. If you look on the top there, this should not look like this, like at all. Like, you might have a little bit of gas escape right there, but you definitely shouldn't have anything that looks like an explosion happen on top of the barrel there. So definitely had a catastrophic malfunction there. Now, the good news is this gas block is pinned on with just screws, and it's not a not one that has a roll pin cut in it. So that's a good thing. This will make this a little easier to fix. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to take this off. So I'm going to cut away. We'll take this off. I'll loosen this, show you how this comes off, and then see if we can reassemble with a quick fix. All right, guys. So I was able to break it loose actually fairly easily, surprisingly, because I put some of that rock set on it a while back. I had an issue with some of these coming loose, so I put some rock set on it, and surprisingly, I was able to break it loose. Sometimes with rock set, you have to heat it up. I will tell you, I'm told that hot water for a couple minutes will dilute it down and break it loose enough that it's fairly easy to come off. I was able to just kind of put a little pressure on my multi-tool wrench there and knock it loose, which is a good thing. So as you can see there, well, it's dirty. There's no damage to the threads that I can see anywhere, so that's good. And I already knocked this loose. I took the two set screws on the bottom loose, so we're able to take that right off. Now, first question, let's see if this one will fit to fix the problem, temporarily, of course. And I believe that is a good setting there. So we can make this one work for time being. Now, eventually I would like to change this out to an adjustable gas block. I have had some issues running it unsuppressed. It will not cycle unsuppressed, so I have to run it suppressed. And I think part of the problem is because of the amount of gas that it's receiving. It's running too fast, so I actually need to slow down the amount of gas that it's getting. But I think the first thing I need to do before I spend about $100 to do that is put a heavier buffer in it and see if that slows it down enough to make it run a little more reliably. So, but that is going to fix the problem. Now, let's take a look and see if we can figure out what actually happened on the breakage, the malfunction. So this is the actual gas block, and you can see there's some scars on the front there, and I'm pretty sure it's actually from this hitting. And if you look, let's see if I can get, you can see where that roll pin hole is right there. That's the roll pin hole. It sheared it off right at that roll pin hole. So I'm fairly confident that if I take that roll pin out, I can probably, actually, you know what? Is that the gas? Yeah, the roll pin's further forward, so it looks like it broke actually at the hole where the gas escapes up. So it might have heated it up enough that it, it lost its integrity from just running that fast. Either way, I think if I take that roll pin out, I can salvage this this gas block. The tube's done, but I think I might be able to salvage this gas block. I'm not going to do it on this video here because it's going to take time to drive everything apart and get everything set up. But I think I can salvage this guy because once I pull this roll pin out here, I should be able to drive that out and it should be good to go. So we'll save that for another build. All right, so for getting this back together, ultimately, if you're putting one of these together, once you have this, if it comes pre-assembled, cool, stick it on. If it's not pre-assembled, you got to put this together first. They make little tools, 3D printed tools, or if you want to do it like I do it, just the OG way. Ultimately, though, you want to get it lined up, and I like to look up here on this guy right here and make sure it's close to the center, is as close to the center as I can get it. There are on either side, there's like kind of quarter moon looking things. I try to get a little gap on either side. That's going to give you the closest to a straight lineup as you can get. And I'll try to get a view of it here. Like right there on either side. You see there's like circle, and then it's punched out in the center. Where those two circles meet on either side, you can kind of get like a little light gap. If you can manage to get that light gap in there, that usually will tell you you're pretty well squared up. And per the norm, it's one of the wrenches that I don't already have out, because why would it be? Give it a little pre-tighten, and then we'll torque her down here. But I'm gonna cut away, I'll torque this down, and then we'll reassemble. Might take it out back and see if we can get her around through it and see if it'll run. All right, so I got the gas block and tube back on, torqued them down. Now we're going to reverse the process of putting this thing together, hopefully. And that's a problem. Okay, well, that's not going to work the way I hope. So per the norm, we're going to have to do everything the hard way. So what I'm going to do is take the gas block back off. I'm going to drive this roll pin out. I'm going to extract this guy off. Then I'll take this, extract that roll pin, and pull that chunk out. Put this gas block on this gas tube, repin it, put the whole thing back together. So here we go. All right, so I didn't have to drive the roll pin all the way out. Now, one of the things I will tell you is have you ever put one of these together, you know how much of a pain in the butt getting that roll pin lined up can be. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. For reference sake, this is, I'll line them up at the bottom here. That's how long this thing used to be. And if you look, there's that tiny little hole right there. That's exactly where it blew apart. So it blew up right at the weak spot, I guess. So the rest of this right here is still in there. So we're going to extract that now. All right, that roll pin came out super, super easy. Now let's see if we can, there we go, popped it right out. So there's what's left of the front of my gas tube there. And it used to fit together, I think it went something like that. And it just incinerated it. I'm guessing, judging by what I'm seeing on here, it looks like it was just getting very hot and just finally melted apart. So, this is not rated for anything above a single shot semi-automatic. So running the rate of fire that the super safety runs, your potentials for failure is higher, I'll put it that way. It is what it is on that. But so now we're gonna put this one back together. And for reference sake, if you're wondering, it sits flat and then rises up back towards the receiver. So it'll go in like this, and if we can line it up, you can see the light in there when I turn it, kind of blocking it off there. So you get it to where it's lined up. And when you can see light through, let's see if I can get it on camera. You can see the light in there. Once you get it lined up like that, then you're just going to drive your roll pin back in and you're good. So we put it back in there. Got it pretty well flat, flush on that side, flush on that side. It's nothing terribly hard to do. It's really small. Something I'll tell you, if you don't have the, there's like a kit that you can get where this thing sets in and it keeps this from like rocking on you. Those do help. However, if you got something you can kind of set it on to elevate it a little bit so it's kind of up so you can hit it square, that helps as well. I use this portion of the wrench right here, just kind of set it in there, brace it on, and then I like to take a pair of needle nose pliers and just hold just below the top of it, get it lined up, and then just give it a couple taps and knock it in. Then I don't have to hold it anymore with the pliers and just tap it to get it in there, line up the hole, rotate this to line up the hole, run it the rest of the way in. So it's not terrible. It's just, if you got hands like I do, my hands crap up pretty quickly. It can be kind of a pain, but it's not terrible. So now that we got that back together, we can run this back on here. And like I said before, try to line it up to where you're 50-50 in that gap up in the receiver. And we'll tighten down these set screws. Those don't need to be like super tight. Also, you want to be careful, don't strip out the heads on those. because it would be a real pain to get those out. So, but I'm going to cut away for a minute and then we'll come back and reassemble the rest of this. Okay, well, I got the handguard back on and I tightened up the set screws down here. We got to put these pinch style screws in and get them tightened down. So put them on here now. And this one.
Hi.
Saying hi to everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Enjoy the video.
Yeah. There's one. There's two. There's number three. Now always go back and
don't forget to subscribe.
tighten these all back down a second time just to make sure as you go they will loosen up. One, one tightens down, the other ones will be a little loose, so make sure you tighten them all down multiple times. Okay, now I had to loosen up those set screws so it would pinch a little more. Okay, now we're going to put all the spacers back together. Now, hopefully this will allow me to get this timed up correctly again. Something about the chemo that people may not know is certain ones require a bit of timing. And what I mean by that is the way the chemo works is on top here, you can see there's a hole on top. It's flat. This alignment here, if you look, this thing has a bunch of holes in this right here, but this one right here does not have a hole. That aligns with this top piece. So if I try putting it in that way, it won't go in. When they line up, it slides in. So you want to get your timing set to where this one is on top. So what I ended up having to do was use a spacer to get it pushed out. Thread that down in there. That'll push out the actual adapter enough so it's not inset into the handguard, because the outside diameter of the chemo adapter is 1.5 inch. So you need like 1.6 or more to get it to fit. Or do what I did on one other one and yeah, get a little crazy with it and use a Dremel tool. I don't necessarily recommend that. However, it can be done. All right, I want to give that a little extra tighten down. Now before I finish assembly, tighten this down. Now you can see here, I need this over here. So it's very, very close. I'm going to try tightening up that little locking screw, the little spacer, just a little bit more. I need my little tiny crescent wrench here. Okay, now I give this a little dab of rock set again. I don't want to get crazy with that stuff. torque back down. And you can see that is very, very close to exactly where you want it to be. So may not be exactly perfect, but it is very, very close. It's close enough. I'm happy with it. Might give it one more little spin just to see if I can get it just slightly tighter. And one thing that will make this stuff easier is if you have a vise, bench vise kind of thing. I don't have one, but all right, we got her all back together there. Probably not going to fire this tonight, but fairly confident that fixes the problem. Just for funsies, we're gonna throw this all back together, give it a quick little functions check, and then I am gonna clean this thing because it is dirty. Oh my God. Okay, functions check. So safe mode, charge, nothing happens. Semi, bang, reset, bang. Good to go. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that fixes fixed all the problems there. Like I said before, I'm fairly certain that the issue is literally just she just got too hot. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you have a different idea as to why, or if you've ever seen one of these break. I've never seen it before, but you know, the amount of rounds that I've ran through this thing, you know, it's one of those things that's definitely possible. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments on this, and as always, stay tuned, stay tactical. I'll see you all next time.